Birds have been a vital part of Earth's ecosystems for millions of years, serving roles that go far beyond their beauty or the songs they sing. If birds were to suddenly vanish from the planet, the consequences would ripple through ecosystems, agriculture, human life, and even the global economy. This is my thoughts on everything, and now we are going to talk on what if birds disappeared from the Earth? Let's explore what might happen in a world without birds, breaking down the environmental, social, and economic impacts of their disappearance. Ecological chaos. Birds are integral to maintaining ecological balance, and their sudden disappearance would lead to widespread disruption in food chains. Uncontrolled insect populations. Birds are some of the planet's most effective natural pest control agents. They consume billions of insects each year, helping to keep insect populations in check. Without birds, insects like mosquitoes, caterpillars, grasshoppers, and crop-destroying pests would multiply uncontrollably. This would lead to widespread destruction of crops, forests, and even grasslands, making agriculture more challenging and reducing global food security. Cascade effects on other species. Birds are a key part of many ecosystems, both as predators and prey. Their absence would cause a chain reaction through food webs. Predators that rely on birds, such as foxes, snakes, and larger birds of prey, would lose a significant food source, leading to their decline. At the same time, species that birds control, such as smaller mammals or insects, would proliferate, potentially outcompeting other species for resources. Agricultural collapse. Birds provide vital ecosystem services such as pollination and pest control that directly support agriculture, and their disappearance would be devastating to global food production. Loss of pollination services. Many birds, such as hummingbirds and sunbirds, play a key role in pollinating plants. These plants include important food crops like fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Without birds, the loss of these pollination services would lead to a decrease in crop yields, affecting the availability of food and possibly leading to higher food prices. Increased dependence on pesticides. With birds no longer present to control insect populations, farmers would have to rely heavily on pesticides to protect their crops from being destroyed by pests. This would have its own negative consequences, including increased pollution, soil degradation, and harm to other non-target species like bees and other pollinators. It would also drive up the costs of food production, further straining global food supplies. Impact on ecosystems. Birds are crucial for the health and regeneration of forests, grasslands, and other natural habitats through seed dispersal. The absence of birds could lead to the degradation of forests and other habitats, which rely on seed dispersal to maintain biodiversity and health. These changes would, in turn, affect the species that depend on forests and other ecosystems for survival, including mammals, insects, and other plants. Cultural and symbolic loss. Birds have long played a significant role in human culture, religion, and art. From ancient Egyptian gods to modern national symbols like the American bald eagle, birds are deeply embedded in human identity and mythology. Their disappearance would leave a profound gap in our collective culture, affecting art, literature, and even spiritual practices that have revered birds for centuries. Consequences for human health. The disappearance of birds would have direct and indirect effects on human health. Increased spread of disease. Birds play an indirect role in controlling diseases that spread through insects. For example, birds feed on mosquitoes, which are vectors for diseases like malaria, dengue, and Zika virus. Without birds to keep mosquito populations in check, we could see an increase in the spread of these diseases, particularly in tropical and subtropical regions. Psychological and social effects. The sudden disappearance of birds would also affect human psychology and social well-being in subtle but important ways. Silence in nature. Birds are often referred to as the soundtrack of nature. Their songs and calls create a dynamic soundscape that people find relaxing, soothing, and uplifting. The loss of bird songs would lead to a noticeably quieter world, which could affect the psychological well-being of people, particularly in cities where green spaces and bird life provide a refuge from urban noise. Loss of beauty and inspiration. Birds, with their vibrant colors and graceful flight, are a source of inspiration for artists, poets, and creatives of all kinds. Their absence would remove a significant element of the natural world that brings joy, wonder, and creativity to human life. The question is, could Earth recover without birds? Well, while ecosystems are resilient and can sometimes recover from the loss of certain species, the disappearance of birds would be a unique and widespread ecological disaster. Humans might attempt to replace the roles of birds through artificial means, such as creating mechanical pollinators or increasing the use of pesticides to manage insect populations. However, some ecosystems might eventually adapt to the loss of birds, others would struggle to recover. Over time, this could lead to a significant reduction in biodiversity, with entire ecosystems collapsing or changing in unpredictable ways. That's all for today. We will talk on another topic in the next upcoming video. Stay tuned and keep supporting us. Thank you.